Hi. So for today's book chat, I'm going to be talking about the novel Invisible City by Julia Dahl. There we go. All right. I listened to this audiobook. I didn't read it, and I just always like to let people know that because it does affect the experience a little bit. This story is about a young woman who is a journalist, and her name is Rebecca, and she's living in New York City. She grew up never knowing her mother, as her mother left her and her father when Rebecca was just 6 months old. And the reason for this was that her mother was a Hasidic Jew, her father was a Christian, and they had fallen in love and produced Rebecca during a time when her mother was exploring. And after the birth, I suppose, she realized she wanted to go back to her home, her family, and her community. So Rebecca, as a reporter, is called to the site of a homicide who turns out to also be a Hasidic Jew. And Rebecca is thrust into this exploration, investigation, not only to discover what happened to the woman, but also to delve into her own past and figure out, I guess, just knowledge and aspects of a community that in some ways she feels a part of, but in other ways she has no idea about. So the thing that I really loved about this story um, was the exploration into a community that's very insular that I don't know very much about. I actually grew up in quite a focused background myself, and so I can understand aspects of it. But at the same time, especially in the story, this community is so separate from the rest of New York. They kind of have their own police system, they have their own laws, their own obligations. And it was also really interesting to see the varying levels of devotion within this community. The author gave us stories of people who 100% were believing, were faithful, were part of it, people who were bordering other levels, people who had stepped away, people who were exploring stepping away. And then we had Rebecca within it all, who's trying to understand the ways in which she can relate and trying to understand her mother, who she's never known, and why that mother would choose to abandon her. So really for me, this is largely what the story was about. And the main thrust of the plot, figuring out the murder, was definitely interesting, and it definitely helped to keep me focused. But for me, it was all the other questions lying beneath the surface, especially as a woman who has very much wanted a child and has done a lot to try to make that dream a reality, to try to imagine how anybody could then abandon their child, um, had me questioning and had me thinking about the effects that that abandonment would have on the child. So how it affected this main character, Rebecca, was really interesting. And not to give too much away, but I think that the second novel in the series is going to explore that much deeper. And so I'm very interested in learning more about that as well. I could talk about other aspects of the story, but I think this has gone on long enough. So once again, I've lost it on here, but I will bring it back for you. The image, Invisible City by Julia Dahl. And you can head over to my website and find some links to the book, as well as a few more of my thoughts in written form. And if you head on over there and you're interested, I'm a women's fiction author, and the first two books in my women's fiction series that deals with a lot of questions about the self, about friendship, about love, about finding your place in the world. Those first two books are available for free for signing up to my mailing list. So click on the link, head on over, and I would love to hear your thoughts if you pick up Invisible City. Have a great day.